Japan will disappear if something doesn't change. This alarm was recently rung by a prominent entrepreneur. Now, a group of experts a decade ago warned of a similar phenomenon. They said in a report that 896 of Japan's municipalities will cease to exist due to population decline, coining the term towns in danger of extinction for municipalities projected to lose half of their population of women in their 20s and 30s by 2040. Japan has one of the fastest declining populations in the world. From the current 124 million, the number is expected to drop below 100 million by 2056. By 2100, the population will likely be half of what it is now. Today, we talked to one of the report's authors about how the issue looks today and see how the towns in danger of extinction have been trying to ensure their survival.
Masuda Hiroya was the head of the group that coined the label Towns in Danger of Extinction. He's been tackling the population issue for many years, including when he was a cabinet minister.
We expected pushback from the municipalities named, but we decided to use the strong term, extinction, as people would otherwise perhaps not take the problem seriously enough.
Local governments were shocked by the realization that they could one day cease to exist. This is Yoshika Town in Shimane Prefecture. It was among those listed by Masuda and his team. When the report came out, Iwamoto Kazumi was Yoshika's deputy mayor. He's now in the top job.
Honestly, I was shocked by the use of the word extinction. I felt a sense of crisis.
The town set to work on drawing up a plan to tackle the problem. It pulled no punches, highlighting the danger of extinction from the outset. Among the proposals was a commitment to a policy supporting child rearing. Yoshika implemented a program eliminating daycare charges and lunch fees for children in elementary and middle schools. The program was paid for from profits earned by a municipal hydroelectric power plant. This couple has 5 young mouths to feed and really appreciait's the new approach.
It's almost free to bring up children here. I am thankful that the town has made it easy to raise a family.
As the initiative took hold, the total fertility rate, the average number of children each woman has in her lifetime, nudged up from 1.69 to 1.83. That helped the pace of depopulation slow slightly.
I felt that the problem could not be solved by simply inviting people from outside to move into the town.
Elsewhere, some local governments have revised their community development policies with population decline in mind. Misaki Town in Okayama Prefecture is another community labeled as being in danger of extinction. It currently has a population of just under 13,000. Over the last 10 years, that number has dropped by 2,800 in a calamitous 18% slide.
I wanted to think our town would be exempt, but the fact is, we're exceeding the predicted depopulation rate. So we're going to rebuild at a more appropriate size.
The town decided to deliberately scale back and consolidate many of its services. This school is a result of the integration of elementary and junior high schools. And along with increasing efficiency, the town is making efforts to liven up its lessons.
Please tell me, what day is it today? It's Friday.
Very good.
Misaki also launched a project to build a multi-generational exchange center at the site of the town hall. It combines disparate civic functions at one expanded location.
This building will function as a library, community center, and social welfare council. Currently, all these facilities are separate and far apart, but they'll be consolidated here, which will be more convenient.
The town is eliminating some of its 94 public facilities, aiming to reduce maintenance costs by close to 50% over the next 4 decades. With town functions set to contract, local people pitch in to help each other out.
Our elderly residents put out a flag when they wake up in the morning as a way of showing that they are alive and safe.
And local people go out on patrols to check up on all members of the community and keep an eye out for problems such as theft.
It's impossible to expect the same level of government services as before, so it's important for us to consider what we need and what we can do for ourselves.
For decades in the past, the mayors and council were rushing to put up new buildings and public facilities. Now it's time to figure out what to scale back or do away with.
Some local governments have made progress over the last decade, but Masuda and his colleagues believe the country as a whole is not yet aware of the threat posed by population decline. That drove them to deliver another proposal in January this year. The goal is to halt population decline by improving the total fertility rate from about 1.3 to over 2 by 2060, and to stabilize the population at 80 million by 2100.
If we don't change our social structure, we will fall into a situation where the population will decrease endlessly. We have to stop the population decline at some point. I believe that the next decade will be our last chance to tackle the problems we face.
For context, let's look at population projections for the G7 countries. Only the U.S. is forecast to see substantial population growth between 2015, around when the first report came out, and 2050. If we zoom in on the rest, only Japan, Germany, and Italy are actually shrinking, with Japan the worst at around minus 15%. Now, the study also shows that Japan has the highest proportion of people aged 60 and older. At around 33% in 2015, the ratio is projected to jump to 42% by 2050.